In this video, I share with you 5 destructive habits that are preventing you from creating and manifesting and achieving the goals that you have. And those 5 habits is something that I see in a lot of my clients. And the challenge is that 95% of what we do every day in our thoughts, in our emotions, in our behavior is subconscious. So chances are you're not even aware that you're doing it because it is so deeply ingrained in your programming and your conditioning that you're doing it without being aware. So as you listen to those 5 habits, at the end, pause and reflect. Notice where in your life are you doing it. Notice how it's affecting you. Notice the result that it's creating you, and then choose to break those habits so that you can start creating new things and create a new level of mind and a new level of life. So let's go straight into the first habit, and that is complaining, judging, or criticizing. Notice that this is one of the ego's favorite pastime. It is so deeply ingrained in our society, in our culture. I mean, you just go on Twitter or social media or YouTube and you look at the comments and you will see that for a majority, it is just trash. People talking shit, people being opinionated, people judging, people adding, people just talking negatively about something, someone, or whatever it is. And so it comes out so normal, right? It is so very normal for us in our society to judge, to complain, to be opinionated, but we don't really know the price of all those judgments, all that criticism, all that constant, chronic complaining. Because what you have to notice is that every time you complain, every time you bitch, every time you judge somebody, your energy gets lowered. Notice that people who complain are never happy, okay? So what does that tell you? It tells you that it robs you from one, your happiness, but also what it does is that it binds you to the things you judge, complain, and criticize, because what you start to focus on expands. So if you spend a lot of time complaining and judging and criticizing others, chances are you are going to experience more of the things that are bothering you, okay? But also what you're telling to life and the universe and your subconscious mind is that I don't want this, I don't deserve this is not good. So if you see a rich person and in your mind you're like, yeah, they're greedy, or it's easy for them, they have it easy, and we are the one who have real problems. So if you have this type of negative self-talk and condemning, attacking others because of something that they have, you're telling life, I don't want this, I want more of what I have. So you have to realize that you are never winning from complaining, judging, and criticizing. That doesn't mean that you cannot have your opinion, but notice where it comes from and notice how much subconscious criticism is just out of pure habit and brings no value to you or anybody else. That's the first one to notice and to really get rid of. The second one is something that I notice in a lot of my clients. It is imagining the worst case scenario. When something is happening or you want a goal and whatever it might be, and then your mind starts to go into shit hits the fan, things are not working, I'm getting broke, my clients are leaving, whatever it might be. The mind is so good to go to the negative, to the extreme negative as well, right? And it starts to loop and starts to loop and it starts to create and it starts to go on crazy things that straight away makes us worried, anxious, stressed out. So it completely pollutes our mind, pollutes our energy. And if we let that go, on autopilot and to just like autoplay, so to speak, and to be so loud in our mind, it cripples us. It cripples us with fear, with anxiety, with worry, and it affects our behavior. It affects our faith, our confidence. So you have to discipline your imagination, because your imagination has tremendous creative power. You can start to make yourself sick. You can start to imagine limiting belief. You can start to imagine yourself being in a rut situation simply because you didn't control your imagination. And a lot of people then start to suffer and live more in suffering because they didn't control their imagination. So be mindful and discipline your imagination. And moving on, we go to the third negative habit, which is putting things, people, or whatever it is, your goal, on a pedestal. Putting and giving so much importance to it. You become obsessed. You start to devalue anything else. You start to worry. You start to be anxious. You start to become needy. You start to become forceful. And you become so unhappy because you don't have that one thing or that person or that goal or whatever that things may be. So what happens, and I talk a lot about this on my channel, is because this is probably one of the biggest obstacles, is that it makes you highly emotional. It makes you highly stressed out. But it does so by putting you on the other side of the spectrum. So instead of being aligned with what you want, instead of feeling like, I have the creative power, I am valuable, I want that thing, I'm gonna get it, right? What you're actually doing is that you're giving all your power to that thing, to that person or that goal or that whatever it might be. And you feel as though you are lesser without it. You feel like your life is not as good without it. You feel like you cannot be happy without it. You feel like you cannot be fulfilled without it. So all the time that you're in that situation, you are telling life and the universe, I'm not as good as this. This is where I am. So you have to be very mindful of what are you broadcasting to the universe, to life, when you're in that situation. This is creating a self-fulfilling prophecy, because this is the story of the grasshopper and the giant. You see those things as being a giant, as being special, as being like the source of the power, the source of the happiness, the source that will bring you love and prosperity or whatever it might be. Yeah. All the while you feel like you don't have it because it's not in you. But this is where you get it wrong. You have it in you, and you need to see yourself at least on that level or beyond. So you must make sure that if anything is on a pedestal right now in your life, you gotta smash it and you're gonna bring them down, or you're gonna bring that thing down so that you can be equal to that, so that you know that I am valuable, I am worthy, I am the creative power. I would even invite you to put yourself on a pedestal, to value yourself, to bring your self-image, your confidence, your self-esteem, to truly know that your creative power comes from you. And as long as you give those quality and the essence of what you want, and you give it, project it on those things or people, you're going to always be in lack, because they can never fulfill those things. But the truth is that you always have it in you. Okay? So be mindful of what you put on a pedestal. The fourth one is about your self-image. You keep on being the old person, expecting a different life. Meaning you keep on thinking, acting, feeling, seeing yourself in the old way, being identified with old things, expecting to live a different life, expecting to be more prosperous, more loved, more in shape, whatever it might be. You have to understand that your identity, your core beliefs, creates your reality. So if you keep on thinking of yourself as worthless, useless, not good enough, ugly, stupid, whatever it might be, yeah, those negative beliefs that a lot of people have about themselves, their ability and their worthiness, if you keep on seeing yourself through the lenses of the past, how could you ever create a different future? It's like you're doing and experiencing the same thing over and over again, because it just represents who you really are at the same time. I made a video recently about the law of resonance and why you don't get what you want, but you get what you are. So if you want a breakdown of this, I invite you to strongly go and check out that video, or check out any other video on this channel about how to transform your identity, because this is the game changer. You gotta elevate your thinking, you gotta elevate your beliefs, you gotta elevate your relationship about yourself, so that life can start reflecting something different to you. And finally, the fifth habit is polluting your body and your mind with junk food, watching the news, being surrounded in negative environment, listening to crappy stuff on TV, not sleeping enough, not, fueling yourself enough, eating junk food, being negative, smoking, drinking, all those negative habits that are affecting your energy, that are affecting your mobility, your vitality, your energy, your physical condition, which then affects the way you think. It affects your energy, your vitality, it affects your energy, your emotions, it affects your sense of life and liveliness. So your body is a temple, is an asset. It's so much easier to think positively, to have a good energy, attitude, to come up with ideas, to be creative when you're feeling good, when you're feeling healthy, when you're feeling yourself good. Because you probably notice that when you eat junk food, You have this food coma and you're draining and you're tired and everything is hard and you dance. So your energy is lower, your state of consciousness is lower, your body is working hard to just repair, to just make it by, to just survive. So you're showing life, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with treating myself like shit. I don't deserve better. This is what you have to realize, is that you are always communicating to life. So you have to raise your standards. If you want to live a happy, healthy, fulfilling, full of vitality and love, you got to notice yourself. How am I feeling myself? How am I feeling my mind? What am I reading? What am I listening to? What am I learning? What am I giving? How much am I laughing? You know, so you cannot just watch TV and random stuff and you scroll dumblessly and mindlessly on social media constantly and expecting something else to come out of your mental factory. So one of the habits that destruct a lot of people, energy and mind and creative power, is simply because they don't value their body and their mind enough. They don't treat it well enough. They don't love it love enough. You gotta treat yourself like somebody you love. This body will treat you so much better and will raise its energy so much more. And you'll start to attract things so much more when you start to feed it in ways that makes you feel good, that makes you feel alive, that makes you energized, that makes you feel empowered. So consider this in your diet, mentally and physically. All right. So those are the 5 main habits that I notice in a lot of people that are preventing you from creating the life that you want. And so when all those habits are compounded together over and over and over again, over years and years and years, it creates a blueprint of attraction, creating patterns, and you keep on attracting, creating, perpetuating certain situations simply because your habits have so much momentum and creative power. So if you change and break those habits, you will see things unfolding different in your life. There's no other way. So let me know which one of those habits you have in your life. Let me know if you think there are other habits that should be on this list down in the comments, guys. As always, if you like this video, like, share, and hit that subscribe button so that you can see every single one of those videos, guys. I will see you next time. Be well.